All right. So a week's worth of effort later-ish, around that time. This is gonna be my final update before I don't know, probably Tuesday. We'll see what things look like. But I'm covering up a lot more stuff, a little more heavily than I initially anticipated or intended, because that wind chill really is not looking too great. And I don't want to take any chances with this just odd storm out with a lot of these plants that, I've been working on my microclimate. And it's just not there yet. And it's abnormally cold for an abnormally long duration of time. So we're pulling out all the stops. Spent a couple $100 at Lowe's. Got like 20 of these Lowe's buckets, and they're going on like any plants that can't really be covered, and or at least covered with more heavy duty material. But I think they'll do pretty well. I mean, it's a pretty thick plastic, so hopefully that buffers it at least from the wind. That's kind of the main goal here, is to get the wind off the plants. But I've done some extra things. So not all the Lowe's buckets are going to be placed like directly on top of plants. I've got a couple of them. You can see they're like peeking through right there. I filled them up with water and closed the lids on them. Kind of the same strategy as the trash cans on the mangoes. Pretty much the goal is just to get a little bit of radiant heat to help out, even if it's just a little bit. Really just pulling out all the stops. So pretty much every smaller tree, like this one, that one, we got a couple of them in the mangosteens back there. They've all got little water buckets. The tomato is going to just have to deal with it. We'll see what happens. Let's see what's going on here. It seems to have been pretty good. Stick the phone in there. Come on. We got a tomato on there still, and I don't see any crispy leaves. So here's hoping we have ripe tomatoes. Otherwise, it's fried green tomatoes for me. But what else? I'm pretty tired after work. I've been doing this since, I took off after 10 a.m. today, and I've been going, and it's like 5 now. So just non-stop. But let's take a look over here. So pretty much the idea is the electrical conduit so it's 1/2-inch electrical conduit with 3/4 inch PVC over the top, and you can bend the stuff pretty well. I did manage to snap one pipe in half, so they're not always super flexible if you get unlucky, but you can do it. But yeah, most of them I'm doing the double loop like that. The mango here is a little bit more difficult. Now I broke it. I showed another video, but we patched it up. Yeah, essentially double hoop here. So this one's a lot more difficult to get done because it's so tall. I'm probably gonna add another layer on top, just because I closed it on top, and I have another a couple of rolls of thinner material, but I'll just use that to seal off the top. So lots of 3M all-purpose outdoor tape. It's pretty strong. So I'll wrap everything up like a present. Close these like a door, like this, and just tape this shut. And yes, the leaves are touching the plastic. I will probably lose those leaves in this cold up, but I'm not expecting to get any mangoes this year, if the mango tree even survives. I feel like it will. Let's feel how warm this bucket is. It's pretty warm. But the goal here is to keep the tree from dying for the most part, as much as possible. At least, we're gonna try and keep the grafted part of the tree alive, and minimize dieback as much as possible. Yeah, so the leaves touching it, that's okay. I'm not worried about that. I'm expecting worse and hoping for the best. So pretty much all these are the same. I might have to rewrap this one a little bit differently. I still got time until tomorrow to figure out how I'm gonna wrap things. I'm putting stones down on the bottom too, so it's gonna be rather windy. That's one of the reasons I'm actually wrapping the tape around, is just to make sure the tape or the plastic film doesn't come apart. They say, what was it, like 20, 30 mile an hour winds or something like that, or gusts. So we definitely don't want these things to go flying away, but with enough concrete stones around the bottom, I don't think they're gonna go anywhere. And who knows, I might even take some batten tape and wrap it around, and then just like put a stone on that too, like on the ground, to kind of keep it from popping off. But yeah, cha-cha, I'm doing some single hoops, just because there's already like support material. So for this one, I've already wrapped it like twice. Then we're gonna wrap it a third time, and there's gonna be like another air buffer. There's already a trash can in there, right there, filled up to the brim. So that one should be pretty good. I'll probably cover this job O2 if I have another 25-gallon bucket available. I'll definitely do that. I think it would be fine if I didn't. It's pretty protected. Now, so this is the north side of the house, and projected the winds are going to come in this direction, so that's where the cold air is coming from. I know I have a little bit of an advantage in this situation because the house is buffering most of it, but I imagine it'll still kind of come up over and then down. So that's not going to be completely protected. And I'm fairly certain that the concrete over there probably radiates some amount of heat too. It feels cold when it gets cold, but it's got to be warmer than the air around it, I would imagine, or makes the air around it warmer. I am covering up the Quaimuck as well. This one was pretty tough to get done. I'm able to do it with like one thing of plastic, but again, same scenario here, with these like 6-foot poles with 10-foot PVC, and just up and over. Again, the foliage is touching, and actually I've bent it a little bit up there, which is not great. Like, it's up over, but I'm expecting to lose that. Like, it's probably going to die back a little bit. Best case scenario, it dies back a little bit. I probably need to prune the tree anyways. I don't want it to be like a 50-foot tree. I would like to reach the fruit. So this isn't, if it dies back a little bit, that's not necessarily too bad. So yeah, but same thing, I'll be pulling it in tight. I might wrap another layer of plastic around the bottom just to make sure it's sealed, or just around it. Yeah. The things I'm not covering, I made a post in the forums about it. You know, not that I don't think it needs it or couldn't benefit from it. I'm like completely expecting to lose this tree, or at least have it die back to the ground. But I've got a couple of jackfruit trees. They were kind of an experiment to begin with. I never expected them to actually even get this far, to be honest. But this one in particular, I have, you know, a little bit of hope for, because it's right here on the south side of the house. You know, the house gets, you know, absorbs so much heat throughout the day, and just radiates it out. And this one doesn't really typically have any issues. This is the first time I've seen burn on it, but that's from the actual frost settling. We had a pretty thick frost a couple days ago, and let me just feel the wall here. Like, it's like I can actually feel the heat coming off. So, you know, it has that advantage there. So it's not a normal scenario, right? I know a lot of people who are growing, you know, they grow out in these fields without a lot of protection. You know, small home lot, you've got an advantage here, because all the houses are so tightly coupled together, and they're, you know, emitting heat. And, you know, if you're next to a window, the windows aren't perfectly sealed, and I'm sure you've got your heater on because, you know, it's a little cold out, so it's leaking heat all over the place. So there are these microclimates you can take advantage of. And well, that's why I planted the jackfruit here. You know, I know they're big trees, but I also know that they're going to die in the cold if it gets cold enough. And this is kind of my trump card for it. And you know what? If it dies, so be it. I'll just put something else here. Maybe something a little more cold hardy. Again, I think it's projected, like lowest I saw was 29 degrees. Now AccuWeather's saying 26. I find that hard to believe because nothing is predicting that for my area. Now it might get to 26, but you know, I always assume that it's going to be 4 degrees cooler than it is reported. So I doubt it's going to get to 22 is what I'm saying. So I don't think this thing is completely screwed. And I think even that low temp, that was for like an hour. So it does heat back up, but it doesn't heat back up above freezing for a while. So that's something to consider as well. So this thing might just be toast. But it is a seedling tree. So if it dies down to the ground, it could still come back from the roots, and or at least come back from low, because I doubt the ground is going to be frozen. And I don't know if I feel like it's getting pretty bad out, I could even run the irrigation, I guess. That's always an option, just to get it through like the coldest parts of the thing. But I don't think it's really set up for that. So I'm probably not going to do that. Yeah, and then if I come out front, I guess I'm not covering this Julie mango either because it's so low to the ground. Again, up against the wall situation. Yeah, it's going to be pretty well protected from the wind right here. I'm sure some wind is going to like whip through. I may cover the Grimmichama somewhat. I'm not 100% sure, but we'll see how I feel. But again, it's the same situation. It's up against the south side of the wall. Should be fine. But it wouldn't be too hard to cover this one. I could even, I don't know, if I have enough plastic left over, I could erect something here. If I have time, but I'm probably not. But I've got this little old litter box that I used to use, filled with water. I usually collect the AC line drip water with that. So leave that under there a little bit. Hopefully that like radiates heat up and keeps things a little warm. But yeah, another thing I'm doing because it's exposed to the wind out front. That's probably gonna be one of the coldest spots in the yard right there. Just building a little hoop tunnel with what materials I have. It looks a little lanky right now, but I'm leaving it undone so that the heat doesn't get to it, because it gets pretty hot with the sun shining on it. And so every day during the hottest part of the day, I'm gonna have to release the heat just to warm it up. But there's a spoonbill flying up there. ADHD moment. Yeah, so I'm leaving them loose now. I will probably close them up around this time, so it's like 4:35 p.m. tomorrow, because the cold is coming Saturday night, Sunday morning. I think it's supposed to persist the following night, but it's not going to be that intense like cold or wind chill. I'm not covering this yellow jawbo, just because I'm curious to see what will happen to it. So would kind of suck to lose it, but I have a feeling that I won't. There's probably another couple of plants. Like, I'm not going to cover up this purple forest guava. None of the ice cream beans are being covered up except for the really tiny ones that I only have like 1 or 2 of. I feel like the ice cream beans are probably going to do pretty okay, in terms of like, they'll just bounce back from the roots. Like, I'm not worried about that. And this one right here, I mean, you can see the ones in the backyard, they don't have any any frost burn on them, like no damage at all from the cold. They don't seem to mind the ambient temps. There's another one over here, and then another one right here. You can see that there is kind of a microclimate back here already. Not quite as good as I want, but peanut butter fruit, gonna stay out. Any herbaceous plants I don't really care about because they're quick to replace. Starfruit's not getting covered. I'll probably add another layer of plastic to these Garcinias here. Wax Jambu's not getting covered. I'll be bringing these Jabos in, probably into the garage or something. None of this stuff out here is getting covered. Like none of the Eugenias or anything. Let's see. And then I'm going to put another layer of plastic over this guy. With the frost top over it. It's got a bucket under it as well as a sweet tart mango. And then the last thing is covering the Grimmel up just to keep the wind off of it. And I got a little bucket for heat in there too. So it's been a long day. It's been a long week. Pretty much been slowly building all this up throughout the week as I had time. And I just took off the last part of this day to get it all done, and we'll get them all covered up tomorrow. So, and yeah, the bananas are probably gonna die back to the ground, I would guess. We'll see. It'll be interesting to see, you know, how well things do. I should probably harvest these star fruits. They're probably edible at this point. Look at this. It's freaking huge. Star fruit's an easy one to get started again. Yeah, I'll probably put, I got a little coffee plant down there. I'll probably put pots over those too. Yeah, look at this little star fruit here. Yeah. Ripe enough. And we'll give them to the kids across the street to snack on. But yeah, avocado's not getting covered. These are pretty cold hardy one. What is this? I always forget which ones they are. I've got a day, and the other one's a Brazos Bell, which is like an extremely cold hardy avocado. Let's see. Yeah, Brazos Bell. So these have never taken any cold damage. But yeah, anyways, done yapping. Get everything finished up tomorrow, and then we'll see how we do the night after. And that's pretty much it. So good luck, everybody.